Hey folks, welcome back to Vigdistar's Mystical Musings. I'm Vigdistar, otherwise known as Erin. Today we're going to talk about social media witches. Ooh. Yeah, I can't take them seriously either. I'm a witch. I'm on social media. Definitely not a social media witch. By now, pretty much everyone and their grandmother has heard about the baby witches who decided that it was a really good idea to hex the moon and the fae. You haven't heard about it? Really? Count your blessings. More than likely you have heard about it. And I don't know why everyone's giving this so much attention. Admittedly, I'm now adding to that attention by making this video, but I want to discuss what I see happening around this whole phenomena of baby witches trying to do things. First of all, they're self-identifying as babies. Babies can't do anything. Babies specifically have to wait for someone else to meet their needs. That's why they're babies. When they get into toddlers, they get a little more independent and a lot more frustrating, but that's beside the point. So you have self-proclaimed baby witches hexing the moon and the fae. And other people are claiming they've been hexing gods as well. And I'm sitting here very puzzled. What does anyone think hexing the moon will accomplish? Moon's still up there. Tides are still happening. Don't know why everyone's gotten into a tizzy over this. Hexing the fae. I will very cheerfully get my popcorn and watch how this one turns out. It's going to be messy, if anything happens at all. These baby witches had better pray that nothing does happen, because the fae are not known for being nice. They're not Tinkerbell. They're not anything that you find on Disney. And if you read the old fairy tales, the Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm, you get the idea that they're pretty nasty little fuckers. Some of them aren't that little at all. Some are quite big. So, yeah, hexing them sounds like a great idea. Now, try and do something against gods. How do I say it? Well, I'll say it very bluntly. Are you fucking kidding me? Someone thinks that they're going to do something against a god? Seriously? The amount of ego is staggering. And yet there's also people who are claiming that their gods have talked to them and they're in trouble and they need the help of other witches. Yeah, no. No. More ego. I'm so special. My God asked me to help because he's under attack. Oh. Social media witches are all about appearance. They're all about drama. They're all about trying to get people's attention. Excuse me a moment. And when they get that attention, they've got exactly what they've wanted. However, hang on 2 seconds. So when they get that attention, you're feeding into exactly what they want. Granted, if you laugh at them, you're still giving them attention. But now you're not giving them the type of attention that they're seeking. And that takes their power away from them. So when you run into these social media witches on whatever platform, call it out. If something doesn't make sense, ask about it. Excuse me. As I said, ask about it. Call it out. Question any kind of claims that people make. that doesn't pass the sniff test. If it smells like bullshit, it probably is. Two terms to keep in mind when dealing with social media witches, or anyone for that matter, is the UPG and the MUS. UPG is unverified personal gnosis. This is someone's own experiences with a god, or with a type of ritual, or with how the tides affect their magic, that sort of thing. And it's all based on their understanding and experience. And that's fine for them. There's nothing wrong with UPG as long as people remember that it is theirs and no one else's. You can't apply UPG to someone else's practice. It's not going to be the same. It just doesn't happen. When you get someone who is trying to pass off MUS or MUS, that's a little more amusing. MUS stands for made up shit. This is stuff that people try to apply to existing mythology, like claiming that the Morrigan is a loving mother goddess. This flies in the face of all the mythology, all the cultural references, everything. So, is this one person wrong, or is the entire cultural history of a god, of a goddess, wrong? I'm inclined to think the individual is. You can absolutely still have your UPG with the Morrigan, and maybe she is pretty nice to you, all things considered. That's fine, but that's your experience. It's not anyone else's experience. And if someone has a different experience, that's okay too. Just remember that there is very little that can be applied globally when it comes to types of practice. I recently ran into someone online who was asking how they, what's an appropriate offering to his patron deity, very important part, his patron deity Apollo. And I asked him, why hadn't he approached Apollo and asked? Why would you, excuse me, why would you rely on the say-so of humans who have their own relationship with the god? Why not get it from the horse's mouth, as it were, and figure out for yourself what your practice is going to look like? That's the way it should work. Unfortunately, a lot of people go online and they want others to tell them how to do this, how to do that, what's good for this, what's good for that. And it's very problematic, because in doing so, they are actively avoiding creating their own relationship with the being in question. Now think about that. If someone is your patron, someone, that means that they are actively part of your life and your efforts. They are giving you funds and space to do whatever it is you want to do, or whatever it is they are willing to back you to do. So you would have to have a relationship with them. Even if it's as simple as taking their money and doing the custom illustration that they want this week. That's fine. That's okay. That's the way it works. Yet, why would people think it's different from a god? It just blows my mind. It's like people don't actually think about these things. They go through the motions and then wonder why they're not getting anywhere. So if you claim someone as a patron god or goddess, why would you do that if you don't already have a relationship with them? I mean, seriously. That is just, I can't even grasp that. The hubris of that. It's unreal. So, social media witches and everything that includes, take it with a huge grain of salt. Huge grain of salt. And you can grind that huge grain of salt and put it on some popcorn and watch the fireworks. I think that's a really good way of doing it. So, there's my rambling rant for the day. And you guys have a good one. Thanks. Bye.